Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Beorning. We're here in the Hall of Fire in the last homely house in Rivendell. And we have found Bilbo Baggins, the hobbit who visited our grandfather. And let's find out what he has to say.
Would you like to join our game?
Hello there, friend Beorning. I wonder if you could help out an old hobbit who is not as spry as he used to be. Lindir and I have been playing a friendly riddle game. Here is his latest. I often hold your hand, but I have no hands wherewith to hold. I often sleep in summer, but I do my best when it grows cold. I often lose my mate, but I feel no sorrow, if truth be told. If truth be told, I am quite stumped. Speak with Lindir about it. It could be that he forgotten a important line or two. All right, let's see.
Hail, friend, and well met.
I thought for once I would try one of the homely riddles that Bilbo loves so well, rather than an involved mystery of elf lore. And so it seems that with his mind in the clouds of the Sindarin poetry, our friend here cannot solve an old-fashioned riddles of hobbit kind. But I will give you a hint. I gave Bilbo the answer to the riddle can be found here in the last homely house. Just find the answer and bring it here to solve the riddle. Alright, now, this particular riddle used to be somewhere in Imladris, somewhere in Rivendell. And to, I guess, cut down the amount of traveling you had to do all over the place, they changed it so you only had to find something within the last homely house. And I've gone through this series a few times before, and in fact I've even done it on video as part of the Runekeeper series, or at least I think I did. But the tricky thing is now finding the item somewhere within the last homely house. Just because you remember what the answer is doesn't mean that you remember where the various items are. So that's the tricky bit. Maybe it's up in the library. Now, in case you wonder what the answer is and what I'm looking for, the answer is a glove. Because a glove is the shape of a hand. And of course, it's not uncommon for people to lose one glove, but not the mate of the glove. Alright, and well, it sounds like that. Well, I have absolutely no trouble in remembering what the answer is to the riddle. Remembering where the actual answer is located is an entirely different matter. Oh, wait, hang on. Ah, this is all I had to do. In the vault? Oh, you gotta be kidding. Well, since it says work gloves, that obviously means that this one did not lose its mate. The work gloves, I have to admit, aren't necessarily put away for the winter and put away for the summer and come out in the winter, since work gloves are often used in whatever season are appropriate for the work that they do. So gardening gloves, for example, I would more likely wear in the summers than I would wear in the winter. But yes, when one thinks of gloves, one thinks of the winter protection ones, I guess.
Hail, friend, and
Ah,
met.
well done. The answer fits like a glove, does it not?
Sweet melon.
It seems that we have an expert riddler here. It is Bilbo's turn to present a riddle. You should speak with him and learn what he has to pose for me. All right?
Oh, here's a tricky one.
Ah, Lindeer outfoxed me. I was rummaging through all my small stock of elf lore searching for some poem or tale to fit the verse, but I should have been thinking of a more prosaic things after all. I wonder if he can answer the next little riddle, though. I would like to offer him one of my poems of elven lore, but I dread Lindeer's gentle laughter more than a goblin sword, so I will follow his lead and make another homely riddle, one that I am sure you can solve by finding another item in the last homely house. And here it is. A long beard I have of bristly hair, but no chin or cheek on which to bear. Many hands hold me which ne'er a cares, yet I'm e'er the first to clean up a mess. Alright, well then I presume the use of the word bear has nothing to do with Beornings then. Of course, what do you use to clean up a mess? And that has a beard. And of course will be, no, not an oven. Let's see now, where is the... Anyone seen a broom around here? Because the answer, of course, is a broom. Broom being something useful for cleaning up messes. And, of course, a broom the bottom part of it looks roughly like a beard, if you, or at least if you're talking in a bit of a poetic voice, so to speak. And we'll put a broom in here. Hello, seen a broom around here? Seen a wizard around here? Alright. Oh, this is the other, that's for the other quest associated with this two-parter I'm doing on the, we're supposed to do two quest lines. One of them is the one that Gandalf has there, and one is the riddle game. I'm showing you the riddle game. I'm not going to show you the other one, simply because it is the most notorious boring quest in the entire game. So therefore, I'm not going to put you through it. And anyway, it's a bit spoilerish. Is that a burglar? Right? No, that's a warden trader. That's where the warden trader is.
Good day. How may I help you?
Alright. I'll presume at some point they've... Oh, they do it for marks these days? Tells you how long it's been there. I was remembering the days when they were doing something completely different on there. And of course you needed special things in order... Let's see... Captain? Minstrel trader? I don't see a Beorning trader. I know I got side railed there, yes. Trying to see, okay. Do they have a Beorning trader? Did they forget about a Beorning trader? Well, it's not exactly a type of level where you have absolutely essential stuff. I'll look at the warden trader and show you.
Can I help
kind
you
of thing.
find something, friend?
You've got level 50 stuff, so it's about 12 levels before I need to worry about it anyway. So if they ever get those in, it'll be fine. But they could be things I could look at getting for marks and medallions. I don't think I've ever actually gotten any of that stuff. But something to consider, of course, if they ever add a trader for the Beorning. So those are a couple of things that are still missing for the class, but it's not exactly like it's crucial or anything like that. I think one person was complaining that the class is broken because they didn't have some of those traders. I mean, I think that's going a bit far. No. What is broken is that I can't find this crazy broom. You'd think, where would there be a broom in the House of Elrond? Most probably right. Well, obviously it's in the one place I haven't looked because I thought. Hang on. Just because it's at the last homely house doesn't necessarily mean that it's inside the last homely house. Let's check outside. At least we're getting a little tour of the last homely house, right? Clerk of Kinships, yes, alright, and now it won't be too far away if it were outside, simply because it did say it was at the last homely house. Alright, then I just completely missed it in that tour around the place. That's all I've got to say, alright? Now, it can't be inside those guest chambers because I don't think we're even allowed to be inside them yet. Well, that's right. I didn't check the east porch. I don't remember going through that much trouble finding it the last time, but then I suppose I could always go through my Runekeeper videos and see if there's anything there, and not as much there as I remember in the past. Alright, well, they like to change things around every so often. Okie dokie. Well, I'm having trouble finding this, so I'll get back to you when I find this crazy broom. Alright, I was not looking in the Scholars Guild Hall because I assumed that the Guild Hall would be only accessible by scholars, and where would the other professions go? But apparently the Scholars Guild Hall is open for anyone to visit, whether or not they're a scholar, and it said what fitting place would there be than putting it inside the Scholars Hall for a riddle contest. Alright, so now that we found that, back to Bilbo.
I've another one for you.
And what could be more homely than a simple balsam broom? Even elves have to clean up from time to time, it seems.
Oh, there you are.
While you were gone, Lindir told me that he had come up with something interesting for our game. Apparently, he found a new riddle in the back of an old parchment out of Gondor. You should speak with him at once. I am curious to know his riddle.
Greetings to you.
Parchment can be difficult to find at times in the world of men, so I am not at all surprised to find a riddle scrawled in the back of an old Chronicles of Gondor. Perhaps some young scribe of the tower had too much time on his hands. It just seems that the answer can be found somewhere in Rivendell. Oh, it just so happens. Beneath breath is needed, warning heeded. Some will arrive with sword and knife. My work is completed, till once more I am needed. Alright, so breath is needed, warning heeded. And it's Gondorian. Actually, the big about being Gondorian is a major clue in that. And this time, he does not say somewhere. It says somewhere in Rivendell. So this one is somewhere in Rivendell rather than somewhere in the last homing house. They couldn't arrange for the answer to be in the last homing house because you need to talk to a Gondorian. And so we'll have to find out where there is a Gondorian. Now, of course, we know where there is a Gondorian, and that is down this way, because we have already been to the location where the Gondorian is visiting. He's in the same guest house as Legolas, whom you remember from that last fun little instance, and also from Aragorn is there. Now, Aragorn is not the Gondorian, because even though he becomes the king of Gondor, and that he is a Gondorian hero, which you find out later on, he is more of a ranger of the north, so it'd be a stretch to call him a Gondorian at this time. So we have Legolas right there. And here we go. Now, first, let me take care of his Lonely Mountain quest thing there. Alright. And, oh yeah, I have finally finished talking to everyone I needed to talk for that line. Alright. Boromir, you have a real nice horn on you.
How can I be of service?
What is this? A game? I see a riddle out of Gondor, is it? Well, you have come to the right man indeed. Nay, I fear I cannot give you my horn even for a minute. For a horn is indeed the answer, because it is my trust and duty to bear it. But I will give you something that should suffice. This is the badge of my rank, as the steward's heir. As you can see, it shows a horn above the white tree of Gondor. I dare say the elf lore master will be satisfied with this token. Right. So therefore we have a badge with an emblem of a horn. Now, what was he looking for? Oh yes, that quest line. Now that quest line takes you all the way into Evendim. And it's highly recommended if you wish to go and have potential for some group content while the preview stuff is all soloable. The final one is this instance with a, well, let's say a big turtle. It's the first really big turtle instances that you have. I know three really large turtles in LOTRO. One of them is at the end of the chain that Aragorn gives you there. And if you finish it, you get to see the reforging of Narsil. So it is a series that everyone, I think, should do at least once. So therefore, you should do the chain and see if you can find a group that's willing to do that instance with you. And that turtle can be tough. And in fact, that's always the one thing that's one of the big things. Alright, let me get back here in a moment. Alright, we managed to get through that lag spike. So let us see what we have with the Riddlers. Excellent! You have found the answer. I will see that this badge is returned to Boromir. Well played. I trust the fact that the item was not just laying on a shelf was no obstacle. Alright. And choice between a glove and some at the lesson, right?
You may be of service to me.
And that brings us to level 39. Just in time. And this time we have a more interesting sort of riddle, but we'll save that one for the next episode of Pineleaf Plays The Beorning.